And we're very excited for you're going to be here. As a matter of fact, we're going to have you back on the show in less than a week, and we're going to be talking about some of the other things in this movie. I want you to think about some of the things that are going to shock us. What you've noticed. I mean, obviously you're taking exit polls of people leaving, and what are they saying about Governor Palin? How people felt going into the movie versus how they felt coming out of the movie. Right. And let's be clear about this. This is not something that Sarah Palin directed you to do.
Oh, gosh, no, Governor. That's what's amazing about Governor Palin. I hope we have a minute or two here, because I personally believe this is extraordinary. Governor Palin, who said publicly after the election that she wanted to do anything that she could to help with this issue of media accountability. And I saw that on television, and I said, you know what? I believe this woman to be a woman of her word. I believe her to be sincere. I'm doing a documentary on the media coverage of this election. I'm going to get an interview with her, which, of course, most people would have thought would be absurd. I mean, thousands of media outlets wanted an interview with her. And, I'm an independent documentary filmmaker out of Los Angeles, a former talk show host. I'm not really nationally known at all, especially at that moment. And she agreed to do the interview. People tried to dissuade her from doing it. She still agreed to do it. She welcomed us into her home. Now, imagine any other politician in the world. I mean, especially, someone like a Barack Obama. Welcome into my home. Ask me anything you want. Show me any clip you want. No restrictions. I have no ability to edit this thing. I don't know who you are. And handle every single element of the interview like a champ in a funny, engaging, intelligent manner. And stand by what she said, despite enormous amounts of criticism, especially from the local media there in Alaska. I forget about the politics of it. I was just so impressed, especially in this day and age when most politicians, let's face it, are weasels and cowards. And here we finally have somebody who is a strong, courageous, intelligent person who has gone through a firestorm that no other politician has ever had to endure, that was completely unjust, and went to levels that are so far beyond the pale, especially when it comes to her family, to be an absolute abomination and an injustice that almost defies description. And here she's still standing strong, still holding up for what she believes, and I just think it's a great testament to her character, which is why it's such a shame that character was assassinated based upon myths and lies and distortions, and that's why I'm really glad that I made this film, and why I'm really glad we're coming to Alaska next Thursday. Talking
to John Ziegler, we will be having the premiere of Media Malpractice here in Alaska. Once again, Fireweed Theater. It'll be less than a week from now, next Thursday night, starting at 7 o'clock. There's only going to be 1,000 tickets sold.
That's right.
That's it. We can't sell 1,001. We can't sell 1,002, and I certainly don't want to sell 999. There will only be 1,000. Now, I would advise you all to make plans to spend a couple of hours at the Fireweed Theater, because you never know who's going to show up to witness this film. And let me ask you this.
It really will be an eye-opener.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Ziegler. What was it about Sarah Palin that captivated you from the beginning? I mean, obviously, she's a beautiful woman. She's very eloquent.
Well, that wasn't part of why I made the documentary.
No. I mean, what I want to know is, how did you know that there was more to just scratching the surface of this very intelligent Alaskan woman?
Well, a lot of reasons. First of all, I happen to have been at the Republican convention, and I witnessed, obviously, her fantastic speech. And I know what it's like to be in that kind of a situation, and I knew that there was absolutely no way someone could perform at that level, under that kind of pressure, under those circumstances, and be the caricature that the media had created of her. And also, I was very much well aware of Governor Palin well before she was chosen. Because I'm not, it really upsets me, and I'm sure people in Alaska feel the same way, that Governor Palin was treated as if, she came off the street or something, when she was nominated as John McCain's vice presidential nominee. It's only this anti-Alaska bias in the media, as if Alaska is, some foreign country that doesn't really count, that accounts for this notion that Governor Palin was somehow inexperienced or didn't have the resume to be a vice presidential candidate. That was absolutely...
John, I want to stop you right there, because I want to play for you just a couple of clips from this is just a microcosm okay,
Right.
of how she was treated and portrayed. Matt Damon was interviewed. Was it Good Morning America? I don't remember what.
Well, this might be his web blog that he did. I'm not sure. But
It was an interview that he gave right shortly after Sarah Palin was named as John McCain's vice presidential running mate. Here's what he had to say about Sarah Palin.
I need to know if she really thinks dinosaurs were here 4,000 years ago. That's an important. I want to know that. I really do, because she's going to have the nuclear codes. You know, I want to know if she thinks dinosaurs were here 4,000 years ago, or if she banned books or tried to ban books. I mean, we can't have that.
And the funny thing is, she never tried to ban any books.
No.
And she doesn't believe dinosaurs were. But because he said it,
Right.
it's now all of a sudden it lends credibility to the fact that she might have somehow once believed that was true or tried to do the very things that he's accusing her of. It's like me saying, you know that John Ziegler, I sure hope he's not a child molester.
well, that's exactly right. You're. By the way, I'm not a child.
Yeah, right.
For the record.
Right,
Gotcha.
I got
you.
you.
But by the way, you know what's and I didn't put it in the movie. I debated putting it in the movie, but obviously Matt Damon's not really news media.
Right.
Although that statement did get a lot more play than it certainly deserved. Do you know the origin of the dinosaur thing? By the way,
I have no idea.
this is amazing, and I'm actually regretting not putting it in the film.
Mm-hmm.
The dinosaur thing came about because Matt Damon read a blog from a liberal writer who was writing a parody.
Aha.
A parody of what Sarah Palin must believe. It wasn't even a lie. It wasn't even like a one of these Keith Olbermann jobs where they just blatantly lie about what the truth is. This was a guy who wrote a blog who was telling people, or people thought people would understand, that he was joking.
Right.
He was joking.
Right.
And Governor Palin clearly stated in an interview with Katie Couric that she believes in evolution. I mean, and believes that it ought to be taught in schools.
Yeah.
It's just that is a great, seemingly small, but a great example of just the incredibly different standard and the targeting that occurred to Governor Palin in a way that was beyond unfair. And, unfortunately, people do listen to people like Matt Damon because we live in a celebrity-obsessed culture.
But he wasn't done yet. He wasn't done yet. He went on to say this about our good governor.
You do the actuary tables, there's a 1 out of 3 chance, if not more, that McCain doesn't survive his first term, and it'll be President Palin. And it really, we was talking about it earlier, it's like a really bad Disney movie. The hockey mom, I'm just a hockey mom from Alaska, and she's the president, and it's like she's facing down Vladimir Putin, and using the folksy stuff she learned at the hockey rink. It's absurd. It's totally absurd, and I don't understand why more people aren't talking about how absurd it is. It's a really terrifying possibility.
The first
fact
time
that we've gotten this far.
Shut up.
Shut him up!
Yes.
When I first heard that, I was so angry. I remember I started to sweat. And I thought to myself, what's absurd is his analogy of how this happened or what could possibly happen.
Right.
To basically pinhole her as a hockey mom from Alaska.
All of a sudden, he's an actuary.
Yes.
He's doing
He's an
tables.
expert.
He's an insurance adjuster.
But you know what? To me, I just thought, you know what? You're an actor.
He's ignorant of a lot. You wouldn't believe how. I'm here 20 years. I'm from New York.
Right.
I'm not
I
that.
couldn't pick that up. By
Yeah. Thanks, John. I mean, I'm not that stupid. But you know what? I am. There are New Yorkers, people who believe that they are the height of culture, the height of everything.
Right.
That are so ignorant when it comes to Alaska. It borders just total stupidity.
Insanity.
It is insane.
No.